How's it going, everyone? I've got a really fun Battlefield 4 loadout for you today. Now this one doesn't exactly fit into the real life military force theme, but it's an awesome loadout that makes use of lots of the good weapons and attachments, which makes it quite an easy build. So the actual theme of this one is those N.E.S.T soldiers from the Transformers movie series, N.E.S.T being the non-biological extraterrestrial species treaty, which is essentially a human and Autobot defense force against those evil Decepticons. And we saw them in action in Transformers 2 and 3, and it's the third movie, Dark of the Moon, from 2011 that we're going to use to build this N.E.S.T soldier loadout for BF4. So if you're a bit of a Transformers fan and you want to defend the Earth from Decepticons, then select your engineer kit and then let's get started with this N.E.S.T soldier build. The weapon of choice for the character Lennox, as well as most of the N.E.S.T soldiers, is the Remington ACR. Obviously that's a weapon we've got in game under the carbine category named the ACW-R, and what makes this build particularly awesome is that the weapon in the movie is set up with all kinds of attachments that we do have available in Battlefield 4. Most of them actually being highly competitive attachments, which makes this setup quite easy to use, unlike some of the other ones I've featured in recent episodes. For the optic, we'll go with the holographic sight, and then we'll add the magnifier under the accessories option. This is a great incentive to use that new magnifier, although it doesn't really perform too well in game. It's a shame we couldn't have selected it as part of the optic setup along with the holographic sight, because there is also the laser sight and the flashlights in there as well, which are featured in the movie weapons. It would have been exceptionally cool if we could have equipped both of those as well. But it's great to have this magnifier option to create quite an accurate weapon setup. According to imfdb.org, the ACRs in the movie are fitted with custom barrel shrouds, which is a nod to the fact that these weapons are set up to fire Sabot rounds to deal damage to those Decepticons. So in game we can kind of make a reference to this by choosing the compensator under the barrel category. The shape and design of this alone fits in pretty well to how the weapons are set up in the movie. And one more cool looking attachment that we have actually got in game is the angled grip. And unlike in previous episodes where I've had to make use of, say, the vertical grip, which increases your hipfire accuracy, at least the angled grip actually benefits this weapon's performance by helping tame that first shot recoil. So with the ACR being a pretty competitive weapon in game, plus these attachments helping benefit its performance, it makes quite a good loadout so far. So let's move on and take a look at the rest of the setup, starting with the secondary weapon. We don't actually see any of the N.E.S.T soldiers using their sidearms in the movie, but we do see a scene where Tyrese Gibson's character hands over a Glock 17 to Sam Witwicky. Unfortunately, we don't have the G17 available in game anymore as per BF4, but we do still have the G18, which is the automatic variant. So to keep things true to the movie, we'll stick with the default iron sights and equip no accessory and stick with the standard barrel. So the main reason we've chosen the engineer kit is to have the ability to take out those robots in disguise as vehicles. In the movie we see rocket launchers being used to take out Decepticons and the Sentinel Prime, so we'll go with the MBT Law as our first gadget choice. This is probably the closest match appearances wise, and it's just going to come in handy to take out any enemy tanks that cross your path. Likewise, we see the use of these little stick-on electromagnetic explosive devices by the N.E.S.T soldiers, so the closer we can get to those in game is the M2 SLAM mines. Then we've also got a set of field upgrades which do fit the theme pretty well. The option named Shadow gives us a few extra perks, namely quick on-spot, faster sprint, reduced fall damage and more stealth by being undetectable by motion sensors. This all fits into the movie story pretty well, seeing as the N.E.S.T soldiers had to infiltrate their way back into Chicago to take down the Decepticons and save the world. Then there's one more item I really wish I could have included as the bonus item for this loadout, that is some Spec Ops black camo. There is a black camouflage option in the form of the DICE camo, but unfortunately that's only available to the DICE development team. So the closest we've got otherwise is the flat urban option that's only available for weapons, plus it's more of a dark grey than a full-on black, but it's the closest we can get. That's if you've been lucky enough to unlock it as part of a battle pack. But regardless, this makes quite a fun loadout, especially if you're a bit of a Transformers fan. Not only have we made pretty good weapon selections that helps keep us alive, it's also going to be quite handy in Conquest or Rush modes where there's lots of vehicles to deal with. If you do have some fun with this loadout, or if you just enjoyed my video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up down below just to help spread the word and share the video with your friends. Don't forget to check out the link to the full playlist down in the description in case you've missed any of those previous episodes, or if you want to stick around for more BF4 loadouts, then the best way to do so is to subscribe or follow me on Twitter or Facebook to get a heads up when new content is posted. I've got more great loadouts in mind for both real life and movie themed forces, so stay tuned for those. Otherwise, thanks for watching and I'll catch you all later.